Here's what's happening now. The radar rainbow is not a good thing to see during the commute home, and we've got a lot to discuss coming up. Paula?
Remembering storming the beaches of Normandy 73 years ago, we are with this gentleman for a rare last salute.
Also, breaking news on the tax battle that could affect what you pay, and things just got more complicated for Republicans. We have a guilty plea in Macomb County corruption case. We'll tell you about the high price facing the Rizzo family.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Karen Drew. If you are headed outside in the next few hours, it is not going to be very pleasant. Temperatures dropping, winds could hit 30 miles an hour. And yes, you could possibly see some snow. Ben Bailey tracking a change in the weather. Hey, Ben.
That's pretty much it, Karen. But yes, there's possibly snow out there. In fact, the back edge of this, we're starting to see some color show up on 4 Live radar, meaning that's transitioning from rain to a little bit of light snow. But generally, most of this moisture is going to dry out before it has a chance to do that. Nevertheless, especially out here in parts of northern Macomb and St. Clair counties, that's where we're seeing some light rain and drizzle. There's a larger patch of snow in northern parts of Michigan, but again, by the time that everything works its way down here, there's not going to be a whole lot left. There is going to be plenty of cold, and everybody's getting that. We're still holding on to the mid-40s here on the east side, but look at how those temperatures have changed. Mid-30s in parts of Lapeer and Genesee counties right now, and those numbers will continue to drop as the wind chills will remain in the 20s and teens as we go through the nighttime tonight. So here's how things look past sunset. We will see those temperatures fall below freezing even before the midnight hour. 27 at 12 o'clock. It's going to be blustery. Could be a few flakes out there, and those temperatures possibly will set records tonight. We'll look at that and how long this chill sticks around. Coming up, Karen.
The suspected shooter in the deadly robbing of an O'Reilly Auto Parts store and the man who helped her escape have been arraigned. Shante Anderson, the accused shooter, is charged on 6 counts, including felony murder. She faces up to life in prison. Levictus Butler is accused of helping Anderson escape police. He is charged on 1 count of accessory after the fact and faces up to 5 years in prison. Police are still searching for this woman on your screen, Ebony McEwen Ross. One of 2 Rizzo family members involved in the Macomb County corruption case now faces up to 10 years in prison. Today, Chuck Rizzo pleaded guilty to bribing government officials in order to win trash hauling contracts. Rizzo had to forfeit $4 million and faces 6 to 10 years in federal prison as part of his plea deal. The deal also hinges on his father, Charles Rizzo, pleading guilty later this month. The younger Rizzo will be sentenced in March of next year. There's new trouble and new pressure on the embattled Macomb County clerk. Judges from the 16th Circuit Court have sent Karen Springer a letter demanding she get her office in order. The letter says her office was behind in processing more than 2,800 court e-filings. The letter also says her office failed to process more than 1,600 criminal history reports. They want her to get caught up by today. Local 4's Jason Colthorpe following the story, checking on the progress, and will tell us what happens if she doesn't make that deadline. That's new tonight at 6. Breaking news from Capitol Hill. Senate Republicans have just unveiled their new tax plan. Let's get to Devin Skillion in the newsroom with the details on the plan.
We've been waiting, Karen, getting our first look now at the Senate plan. It has some key differences from the House bill. The big difference, the Senate plan would slash the corporate tax rate from 35% to 20%, but it would not start lowering that tax rate until 2019. Under the House plan, the tax rate would also be gradually lowered, but it would start immediately. Would go from 35 to 20% by 2022, so a sliding scale, but beginning this year. The Senate proposal has 7 rates for individuals. It tops out at 38.5% for top earners. The House plan, though, I guess some would say is simpler, with calling for just 4 brackets. The plan would also eliminate federal deductions for state and local taxes. That's been a big point of contention among some, and it would keep some popular tax breaks for 401k retirement accounts and charitable contributions. Now, Republicans have set an aggressive timeline to pass their bills, but they will also, though, now have to reconcile the 2 different versions. They're hoping to have a bill on the president's desk by the end of the year. And Karen, we know the House plans for a full vote on its plans as early as next week. So all of it starting to get a little bit of gas on the pedal.
It definitely is. All right. Thank you very much, Devin.
You bet.
Washington is being rocked by new sex claims against a controversial candidate for the U.S. Senate in Alabama. Roy Moore has received national attention for his extreme views and for waving a gun at one campaign stop. Now, an Alabama woman says Moore made inappropriate advances to her when she was just 14. The claims go back decades and allegedly happened when Moore was in his 30s. He denies the accusations, calling them defamation and fake news. But senior Republicans say he should step aside if there's any proof they are true. President Trump taking a new approach to dealing with China as that country pulled out all the stops to make him feel welcome. The elaborate welcoming ceremony included a Chinese honor guard. Both men walked along a red carpet to review the troops, and children holding U.S. flags and jumping up and down. The president left the harsh anti-China rhetoric at home as he tries to get China to help control North Korea's nuclear ambitions.
The entire civilized world must unite to confront the North Korean menace. And the entire world is watching us right now. Today, President Xi, we discussed our mutual commitment to the complete denuclearization of North Korea.
The President's Day ended with a state dinner in Beijing. Both leaders toasted each other and praised bilateral relations between the two countries. After his toast, Mr. Trump introduced a video of his granddaughter Arabella singing a traditional Chinese song in Mandarin. Arabella is the daughter of Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner. There was a special moment on Capitol Hill today as 5 American heroes were honored. We're talking about the 5 law enforcement officers who responded to a shooting at a congressional baseball practice back in June. They were awarded the Capitol Police Force Medal of Honor. Congressman Steve Scalise was gravely wounded in that attack and was emotional as he helped honor the officers who came to his rescue. You're looking at a very special ceremony that took place in Macomb a little bit earlier today. A 96-year-old veteran being honored in a very special pre-Veterans Day ceremony. He is one of few remaining men alive who can actually recount the landing on the beaches of Normandy in World War II. As our Paula Tutman tells us more.
So I want to show you this picture. So this is Mike Serafin then. Young, dashing, very handsome. And this is Mike Serafin today. You know what's really interesting is he is 96 years old. He is in hospice, but his memory of landing on the beaches of Normandy is crisp. And today, he received a most special honor for his service.
And the certificate simply says, "We appreciate our veterans." Mike Serafin, United States Army.
For Mike Serafin's family, every day is Veterans Day, but today, something extra, something special, something beautiful.
Mr. Serafin, I want to salute you today in thanking you, sir, for all of your time served well.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is something Henry Ford Hospitals started doing this year, a special bedside pinning ceremony for veterans in hospice care. A reading of the soldiers' oral history, a pin for their service, a salute. For many, it will be a last salute. For Mike Serafin, it is one more honor on a long path from the beaches of Normandy, June of 1944.
People were shooting and knocking it down.
At 96 years old, when he recounts what he saw, he still lives it.
And then all of a sudden, you felt like something hit you in the stomach, and it was
Shrapnel?
Shrapnel.
He was an intelligence and a Slovak translator, which means he had to disembark from the amphibious units. The soldiers in front of him, cannon fodder, a suicide mission, so that the logistics officers could get into place to direct resources.
Going ashore and taking positions where they can adequately seek the enemy and destroy them.
Throughout his life, when he would start talking about it, he would just break down crying and talking about all the dead bodies and, and then the foxhole that they had to build afterward.
One of the other things that he remembered quite a bit was the Battle of the Bulge, and he says he just remembers frozen bodies everywhere, and he had health issues because of that, because of it was below zero for several days straight.
Mike's daughters are carefully rebuilding the pieces of his life, recording his history, his photos, his memories. He is a living historical asset, one to be treasured, one to be honored, one to be saluted, even if for the very last time.
And thanking you, sir, for all of your time.
Paula Tutman, Local 4.
As part of the Hospice Veterans Pinning Program, he also receives regular visits from a veteran volunteer to hold his hand, keep him company, and listen to his memories until his dying day. Still ahead, the massacre in Las Vegas has inspired at least one new gun law. We'll tell you where lawmakers are taking action. Also, there are 3 new members in the Toy Hall of Fame. Colonel Mustard may be celebrating with Miss Scarlet in the conservatory with a lead pipe. I don't know. Also, this is something you should never do. A pedestrian tries to beat traffic and loses. We have the traffic cam video next.
Locker Room. Coming up all new on Local 4 News at 5 and 6.
Stand tall! Stand tall! Teaching our children how to react when they're being picked on, ridiculed, or even worse, bullied.
The research shows that relational aggression starts at 4 years old.
How one program is helping teachers prepare their students for any social situation at 5.
First at 4, we're on top of stories making headlines across America. We start in Kentucky, where the man accused of assaulting Senator Rand Paul appeared in court today, where he pled not guilty. Rene Boucher has been charged with misdemeanor 4th-degree assault after being accused of tackling the senator from behind, breaking 6 of his ribs. Boucher's attorney said that this was not politically motivated, and neighbors say the two, who have been neighbors for 17 years, have had a long-standing dispute over yard waste. Massachusetts is now the first state to ban bump stocks following the shooting massacre in Las Vegas. You may remember those gun attachments were found on the weapons used by Stephen Paddock when he killed 58 people. Starting in 2018, penalties for using or possessing a bump stock will range from probation to life in prison. Some critics say the legislature moved too quickly, but lawmakers say they received a flood of requests to get something done as quickly as possible. The video you are about to see is a little disturbing, but it should serve as a warning to anyone who tries to cross the street against the light. A traffic camera was rolling as the man darts out into traffic trying to cross the road. Drivers still had the green light, and he does not make it. Oh, very disturbing there. The truck was damaged, but the man pops back up and does run away. Police are looking for this individual. Ben is back, so I'm trying to get a reality check. We're saying some snow. We're not saying accumulation. Like
correct.
It could just fall and then like melt.
Probably, yeah. Going to be flakes.
Do you like how I'm trying to persuade you to tell people this?
It's working.
Is it working?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I had that in my forecast anyway. But yeah, this is not going to be a big deal. The bigger deal is going to be how it feels outside, and you can already start to see the difference. We've still got 47 out here in Monroe and Toledo, and there were spots that got close to 50 degrees. In fact, Dearborn was just 48 within the last hour. Then you start working your way back into our west zone, and you can see those numbers already in Manchester, Salina 39, Ann Arbor is at 40. But one of the bigger differences is here in Oakland County. Ferndale's at 44, Holly's at 36, so that's almost 10 degrees there just across Oakland County itself, as that cold front is pretty much right there and is slicing a little bit further to the south and east. 37s, 36s behind the front, even 35 right now up in Marlette. And that's not the only thing we've got to concern ourselves with. Winds are gusting over 30 miles an hour. So that's taking those temperatures, which are already cold, and putting wind chills currently in the 20s. We're going to see those wind chills fall into the teens this evening, and we're going to wake up with wind chills in the single digits tomorrow morning. So it looks like a little preview of winter here in November. We do have that light moisture here on the east side. That's all liquid. That's where the snow is, and it looks pretty impressive here in the northern parts of the state. But as it rolls closer to us, most of that is going to disappear, and you'll see that here in the forecast map behind the front. There's not going to be a whole lot of moisture left, maybe 1 or 2 little streaks of lake-enhanced snow that's going to be coming in. By 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, clouds are going to be gone for most of us. We've got a lot of sunshine for the majority of the area, but if you're in the Thumb and parts of our north zone, you can see those bands of snow setting up in Lake Huron, and as the wind shifts, it could bring those on shore. So some folks in the Thumb and Sanilac and Huron counties, you may be seeing a little bit more cloud cover and possibility of some snow showers there. The rest of us, though, just dealing with this bone-chilling cold. These are lows tonight. This is how we're going to wake up tomorrow morning. Thermometer says 22 in Detroit and teens up here in some of our suburbs. But again, these wind chills are going to be in single digits in a lot of spots. 19 in Onstead for a temperature in the morning, 20 in Luna Pier and Monroe. Belleville, you're going to be at 20 as well. West Zone, it's pretty much going to be all teens out here. 18 in Fenton. Howell also at 18, 19 closer to 275. And it's teens here in the North Zone, too. May see a little bit milder temperatures toward the lake, but not by much. Everybody's going to be chilly tomorrow morning. At least we get the sunshine to help psychologically, if nothing else, because we won't even make it to freezing tomorrow. 30 is our high temperature. Thank goodness we start improving a little bit for the weekend. 38 there on Saturday for Veterans Day. 42 on Sunday. This is mainly going to be rain. Could see a little bit of a mix overnight Saturday night into Sunday morning. But as temperatures warm up past sunrise, we should see generally liquid. And look at this. 50s coming back for Wednesday and Thursday of next week, Karen. So hang in there. Warm temperatures, or at least normal temperatures, are in the offing.
We will hang in there. Thank you, Ben. Still ahead, have you noticed a change in your Nutella? We're following a social media backlash after a new recipe is revealed. Up first, self-driving cars hit the streets of Las Vegas, and you can see right here, there's already a bump in the road. Can you guess who was at fault? But first, as we go to break, take a look at how the markets have closed for your Thursday as we see the Dow down some 100 points, NASDAQ down 39, S&P 500 down as well. Here are your automotive stocks. We'll be right back. In today's trending stories, a lot of people are talking about this self-driving shuttle over in Vegas. That's because the shuttle was involved in an accident within the first hour of service. The new shuttle was involved in a collision with a delivery truck just after hitting the streets. Witnesses say it was the driverless vehicle that stopped when it saw the truck, but the truck driver backed into the shuttle. Luckily, no one was hurt. The city will keep using the self-driving shuttle in downtown Vegas for the next year. The accident does bring up that question on how drivers and driverless cars will share the road. We are seeing lots of talk on social media today and some backlash as well against the makers of Nutella. Many of you love that chocolate hazelnut spread. Well, guess what? The recipe has changed just a little bit with the company. They're adding more sugar and milk powder and using less cocoa. Disappointed customers are tweeting comments like this. You wake up one day to have the usual and discover Nutella does not taste any more like Nutella. The world is ending without Nutella.
That's awfully dramatic.
A little dramatic, yeah. The company tweeted back, quote, "Our recipe underwent a fine-tuning and continues to deliver the Nutella fans know and love with high-quality ingredients." So guess you'll have to taste it for yourself to see what you think. All right, if you think Pokemon Go is going away anytime soon, think again. The game studio behind Pokemon has announced it's teaming up with, take a look, Harry Potter. The new reality game will be based on the Potter universe. Players will explore neighborhoods looking for spells to learn and artifacts to collect. The game Harry Potter Wizards Unite is expected to launch next year. And when it comes to more traditional toys, there are 3 new members in the Toy Hall of Fame. We're talking about the paper airplane, the wiffle ball, and the board game Clue. Those 3 classic toys beat out other nominees like the Magic 8 Ball and My Little Pony. If you ever want to visit the Toy Hall of Fame, is inside the Strong Museum in Rochester, New York. Huge Clue fan.
Huge. Was that a shot of Colonel Mustard? Is that what he looks like?
I think it could have been. Well, he changes, depends on which game. I mean, you know, which version you get.
Yeah, he looked like...
I always miss Scarlet.
Yeah, look, is that him?
I think so. All right, still ahead at 93 years old, many people are slowing down, but this New Jersey man just wore out a pair of shoes trying to land a new job. Oh, and it's a big one. This story next. All right, finally, first at 4, a story that shows you are never too old to try something new.
Never. Meet Vito Perillo, who decided to run for mayor of a small New Jersey town at the ripe young age of 93. He says he was inspired to run because taxes are too high and the city council isn't transparent enough.
Perillo says he walked through every neighborhood and he shook a lot of hands. He says he even wore out the soles on his favorite shoes. His family was 100% behind him.
I thought he was going to win. You know, I think he's been a winner and a fighter all of his life.
I like to see people know that as old as I am, you can still do things and accomplish things.
Well, he did win, by the way, with more than 53% of the vote. Perillo will be sworn in the new year. Good for you.
I would have voted for Vito. I don't even know his politics, and I would have.
But you like the guy. Thanks so much for joining us for First at 4. We will be back in a half hour with Local 4 News at 5. Inside Edition is next. Have a good afternoon and stay warm out there, right?
Absolutely.